Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing. Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month to sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
As dawn approaches,
Heineken! Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh, this is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of The Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. Holy shit, this week's guest I am excited for is Erica Stoltz from the band Sanhedrin, and from, Brooklyn, New York. Super fucking awesome band. Been out, this is their 10th anniversary year. And we're going to be checking in with her in just a few minutes. But today we also have Mr. Jason Gardner from the Heavy Metal Wasteland and the Ale Horn, the Motor Horn, and all of the other Flamekeeper awesomeness. Dude, what's going on? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks or maybe a month. I don't even know it right now.
It's been about a month since you've been on, yeah. You've been super fucking busy. We're not gonna get into the whole spiel of the football talk, but you're a big football fan. You usually hibernate through the winter months. I think you should start seasoning your shows. That would be, well, not like, I know it's peppered with a bunch of bullshit. No, I'm kidding. Because you seem like you were really busy in the wintertime with being in the contractor business, and then you've got football on top of that. So yeah, man, you're like super busy this time of year. It's like fucking trying to fucking get a fucking audience with the fucking satanic pope.
I mean, football is like, I don't know, it's like something I really like because, as of pretty much now, I would say it's it's over with till like August.
August, yeah, because that's when preseason
preseason
starts.
Really doesn't count, so it's pretty much like the first day after Labor Day. First Sunday after Labor Day.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Preseason might not count, but the injuries do.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm doing the same thing with hockey right now. I'm catching the Kings, and their first half of the fucking season was great, and now they're fucking choking like a son of a bitch. And it's just like every time I turn around, it's like fucking lost by one, lost fucking shutout or some fucking shit. And, I just fucking hate that. But, we've had good teams in the past and shit like that, but hey, can't win them all, I guess. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I'm actually thinking about asking Aaron if he wants to do a Patreon exclusive season in review talk about the whole season, because his Dolphins made it to the postseason, but then they froze to death in the game and lost pretty bad. So,
right.
There's that. But,
you all should do that.
At least he made it, because my team didn't. I don't think my team did anything. Yeah, my team won 2 games, so I can't really talk. So
right,
we'll just talk about the season in general.
Well, I was really wanting to approach somebody about having a wrestling podcast on the Flamekeeper network.
Yeah.
I know there's a fuck ton of wrestling podcasts already with a bunch of wrestlers out there on them, so it's like, really, what could you contribute kind of shit that places like What Culture and shit couldn't already do or do really well. But you can always do something well with it. Yeah. Even if it's just like, hey, this week in review, or fucking bollocks of the week.
It's an interesting time in wrestling right now with no McMahon in charge.
Dude, that is insane.
So, yeah, it's pretty wild.
That was something that was pointed out to me, that that the Royal Rumble was the craziest thing ever, because there was not a McMahon, a Blood McMahon in the company at the time, nor was the guy who ran the show from the truck, Kevin Dunn, for like the first time in like 40 fucking years.
Yeah. It's interesting. And plus going to Netflix next year, which will probably be like no commercials, and having to fill that in.
Well, there'll be commercials. There'll have to be something.
No, I read that there's going to be no commercials, but they're cutting it to 2 hours instead of 3.
Right. Well, I mean, even with commercials today, it's still a 2 hour and 15-minute show.
Right.
So that extra 15 minutes is whatever. But, I mean, it's still supposed to go live, which is totally cool. Which, I mean, they're already running live events anyway, and they're already running the fucking cameras. So,
Yeah.
why not? You know? And I think with Triple H in charge of the show now, I think it's going to be vastly different than what anybody has seen, and especially in the last decade. And the unfortunate thing is they're really going to have to, with everything that's happened, with an article I just recently read, they're really going to have to treat him like Chris Benoit. With the allegations that have come out against him, the sheer, like...
For Triple H?
No, Vince.
Oh, okay.
With Vince,
okay.
sorry, with the allegations that's come out against Vince, they're gonna have to treat him like Benoit, like only reference him at the utmost minimalistic possibility that you can.
I mean, that pretty much excludes pretty much 90% of Stone Cold Steve Austin throwback skits, stuff like that, you know.
Well, you know, maybe they could show that. The reason why is because he was a fucking piece of shit boss character then. You know, so it really wasn't too far from the fucking truth.
So.
Huh?
He was Mr. McMahon in those.
Yes, Mr. McMahon. For sure. Jason, what do you got for the Wasteland this week/month?
Well, man, I've got something that kind of made me chuckle a few weeks ago. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I am not a Sleep Token fan. I've heard one song, and I know it's not metal. It's marketed as metal. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, I think it's an AI creation because everyone wears masks, and you can just pipe the vocals out. You know, nobody has to know anything about you if you're not really real per se.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion on what Sleep Token is. I think it was an AI prompt. Hey, how can we cash in on the popularity of Ghost? There you go. But so that's what I honestly think Sleep Token is AI, a record label AI creation. I might be wrong. If I am, that's fine. But the thing I want to talk about is their tour that just went on sale a couple weeks ago. The diehard Sleep Token fans actually got screwed out of getting tickets because AEG didn't send out pre-sale codes before general audience sale. And yeah, a lot of people are not going because the bots bought all the fucking tickets out, including here in Asheville. It sold out in like 7 seconds, and it's a 7,500 seat arena. So yeah, I'm just like, dude, these big concert promoters.
You know,
like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's where the conspiracy theory metalhead thing comes in with this. Okay, so say Sleep Token is an AI created band.
Yeah, I don't have proof. I just
no, hypothetically speaking, theoretically speaking, whatever you want to say, that Sleep Token is a AI created band. It's not a real thing, and obviously we've all heard the fucking James Hetfield singing fucking goofy fucking shit, so it can be done.
Sure.
You know, okay, I get that, but so we know, well, okay, we don't know. It's assumed that the bots are controlled by the company, right?
Yes.
To force sales.
Yeah.
And to force inflated sales.
Exactly, yeah.
So, in turn, they fuck themselves into inflated sale money. They got what they wanted. The bots got all the tickets.
Yep.
So now their fans have to pay the inflated rate,
yes,
or not go.
Yep.
So what the fuck? You know, it's like, and anybody who's a diehard, like, I don't know, take a fucking Kiss fan. Mm-hmm. They're gonna fucking pay $10,000 to see Kiss front row. There's people that do that shit. Just like fucking front row WrestleMania tickets are like $20,000 and shit.
Some people, $10,000 is like $100 to us. You know? It's like when you have that much money, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, like I said though, because the reason I find this humorous, I mean, I feel sorry for people who want to go see it, whatever their reason is. You know, that's fine. I go see shit that people are like probably shake their head at or scratch their head, like, really, you pay money to see that? But So I was at a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese for my cousin's daughter's birthday party. So my kids were there, and
Chuck E.
somebody asked me, is like, are you familiar with the band Sleep Token? Because I was wearing an Iron Maiden hat. And I was like, how the fuck did you equate Iron Maiden to Sleep Token? I have no idea, but okay, let's find out what the uninitiated concert goer would think about Sleep Token. So I actually just had like a conversation with this girl, and I was like, are you a Sleep Token fan? She's like, well, no, my sister tried to get tickets and it sold out in like 10 seconds. I was like, it was actually 7 seconds. But I was like, well, let me tell you my opinion on Sleep Token, why I'm not a fan. And I told her that I thought it was an AI creation, that they just hired musicians to play the stuff live. She looked at me like I had 3 heads. Like that was the craziest fucking thing she ever heard. But I was like, no. I mean, seriously, I was like, look. I was like, they all wear robes. They all wear masks. It's not the same person. The singer doesn't even have to sing. All you have to do is just make gestures. Because if the vocals are piped in through the PA, how would you know?
Yeah.
If they're playing to this pre-recorded tracks.
Exactly.
I was like, Ghost is like the biggest thing right now that everyone's trying to copy. I was like, masks are in.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't a record company try to make another mask?
And it's the thing. And here's the thing: masks have been in since 1999 with Slipknot. Yeah, Slipknot. But no, so yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Masks are in right now, and everybody wants to be Ghost and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, like, I don't give a shit about the hype train of Ghost or anything. I mean, fuck it. People like what they like. I mean, if it sounds good, it's cool.
I love their first album.
Yeah, I mean,
dude,
there's certain songs that I still like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like fucking Dance Macabre and fucking... But who gives a fuck, you know? But like I said earlier, it's like, you know, I like a lot of different kinds of metal. You know, I like metalcore, I like fucking thrash, and that's the whole thing is, yeah, people don't get that now, which they should, because it's a generational thing as we see it being older. But the kids today that are living through this fucking like crazy technology that's at their youth, they don't know fuck all about a lot of times. Yeah. You know, I know people who fucking don't fucking know how to use Google and they're 25.
Right.
They ask, hey, what about this? Fucking, I don't know, Google the fucking shit, dude. Yeah. You know? Fucking... But I don't know. I mean, if it is, that's a huge blow to the fucking industry. And but it's also the thing that I think unites us as independent musicians across the world. You know, because we can sit there and still have fucking awesome fucking community. Fuck yeah, dude.
It's a lot funner to be like in the struggle than just like on top. Because take a band, I mean, take an artist or a band that's like reached like the pinnacle. Like, just say, because her name is mentioned everywhere every day, Taylor Swift. Like, I wouldn't want to be. No, I'm not talking about the music. I just wouldn't want to be that big because you have nowhere else to go. You're at the fucking top. The only way back is down.
Right.
Like there's nothing to look forward to the next level. You know,
I mean, the only thing that you could look forward to is what it essentially is. Like, okay, what do you want to do next? And if you've got the social fucking power to do it, then you can. It's no different. The Rock is no different than Taylor Swift. Right. The Rock was doing the same shit 10 fucking years ago. He was showing up fucking everywhere. And, you know, and if it was something that fucking, like the wrestling company that was involved with, he was The Rock. When it was something that they weren't involved with, he was Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. And, you know, and, yeah, and she's doing the same thing right now. And honestly, it's one of those deals where it's like, is it going to be fucking political office? I could see The Rock running for fucking president.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, it's just like, if you have nowhere else to go except for down, as if you want the journey to end.
Well, no,
like,
who doesn't?
Because like me and you have a long way to go before we ever see the top of the mountain. So like everything we do.
That's
is like,
hang on. That's subjective, sir.
Well,
that's subjective.
What mountain range are we talking about? Do we play in? We in the Smokies? We in the Rockies?
I mean, I mean, like, the mountain range is subjective. It's metaphorical, sir. It's what is the peak of your mountain? Because some people it might be Carnegie Hall, dude.
Yeah.
For some people it might be Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
For some people it's the O2 in Birmingham.
Right.
Or fucking, dude, you know, I really wish, and this is where we'll put a pin in this for this philosophical discussion this week.
Okay.
Because we've been talking for a minute, and I love it, don't get me wrong, but I do want to go in depth, more in depth with this on a long form. Maybe in a Patreon exclusive, maybe on a live. A live might be good for this, because then we can field fucking questions as is. But of course, you know, that's when everything's back from hibernation and shit like that. But I've done lost what I was saying of why the mountain range is metaphorical, because, you know, it's whatever you want it to be, my friend.
This is true. Like, maybe you're just hiking to a waterfall.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Well, all I'm saying is, like, some of the bands now, like, take Mastodon for an example, okay? Not counting festival appearances and stuff like that. Just their own tour. Like, they started out, like, playing, like, shitty clubs or record stores. And I can just tell you this from what they did in Nashville, because they've been coming here since the first album.
Right.
They started out playing at Static Age, which is a record store with a music room in the back. Then they went up to Stella Blue, which is about a 200-seater, roughly. Then they moved to the Orange Peel, which is about 1,000. Now they're playing Pacific Center, which they played twice in the past on the same tour,
Right.
Which is 7,000. It's a gradual climb, you know.
Yeah.
In Nashville,
They probably sold it out both times.
The first one with Opeth, no, but the second one probably so.
For sure. And that's what it's about, man.
It's a natural progression that I witnessed. Because I was there when they were coming from the beginning, since they've been coming here, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember they used to play here with like High on Fire and stuff like that, and now all these bands are just like in much bigger places now, and it's cool to watch. But like they still have a lot of career left, so they have a long way to go before they're getting up to headlining their own stadium.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. Like, what is after a stadium except for a fucking Russian airfield? You know, that's never gonna happen again.
Antarctica. Antarctica happens, and then Antarctica happens, and then you charge $8,000 for a light truss seating.
Okay.
That's what happens.
At the end.
That is the end.
You're getting $8,000 for a ticket. Okay, that's
well, you and 7 friends. It's $1,000 a piece, and you get your own fucking cooler full of beer.
Yes.
That's Internight, by the way. That's their brand of Budweiser, by the way. That's what happens. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and listen to some Sanhedrin here. That one, that's exactly what it is. This is from the latest album. This is Scythian Women. Yeah.
Beside all their brothers in arms, the shore is the archers.
And, I never announce a song after coming back, but today I am going to because I love this song so fucking much. Is Scythian Women from Sanhedrin, awesome. Which today, Erica Stoltz is here in the Metal Forge. Erica, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Metal Forge fans? How you doing out there?
Yeah, see? I mean, it's awesome because... I've watched you all online for the last few years, and it's like, man, I really wish they would come around more to, like, the Louisville area. I mean, yeah, you get to, like, I'm, like, 2 hours from everywhere, it seems like.
Right.
So, a lot of bands go into that circle, where Louisville doesn't really get hit a lot, but everywhere else around us does. So, it's like a 2-hour drive to see a lot of these cool bands.
I know. I was actually just saying to my band that I would like to go and play Louisville and St. Louis and a couple other places a little more southern Midwest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So we might. It's it might be in the cooker.
Hell yeah!
Hopefully.
So before we get into all of that jazz, and I know I kind of threw it at you there all of a sudden right off the front. Tell everybody out in Metal Forge Land, because most of the people that I know of, they've been hitting me up telling me I need to have you all on for a while, and it's just never been a thing. It's like there's so many people that hit me up constantly, because you know how the metal scene is. It's all collective. We're all doing the same stuff, and we're all trying to promote shows and everything. And sometimes it just, you pick back up in 6 months, and you're just like, holy shit, I'm sorry. I meant to reply.
Yeah.
So tell everybody out in Metal Forge Land about Sanhedrin.
Well, hi, everybody out in Metal Forge Land. Sanhedrin started when a work colleague of mine, Nathan Honor, invited me to jam in, I don't know, it was like late 2014, early 2015. There was snow on the ground, I remember, and it was cold where we were playing. But I played with him and Jeremy because they had a band before, and that ended up going really good. And so we were like, hey, man, we could start a band here. So that's what happened. And that was we were all living in Brooklyn, New York at that time. Nate and I grew up in Brooklyn. Jeremy is from the North Country of New York State. So basically, like, Canada.
Caveman, right? Country.
yeah. I mean, he's like 10 minutes from Canada in all directions. In all directions except south. So, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So, back in 2014, I remember, how I was doing my stuff in my personal, like, music scene. This whole big new wave of, like, traditional heavy metal really was kind of there, but it was still a little bit more underground than it is, 10 years later. Because
definitely
you had more bands that had just started up or had just started doing live performances. And for example, they were just like a studio band for long times, and then everybody started doing their thing. So whenever you all started jamming, were you all already into some of these bands? Because you're kind of on what I would refer to as the forefront of the new wave of traditional heavy metal scene.
When you say the forefront, do you mean like we came?
I think
early
you came
on?
in. I think you all did, actually. Compared to all the bands that you see out there now.
About new wave of British heavy metal bands, like old bands, or some of the newer bands that are underground?
Yeah, like some of the ones like, were you listening to bands like High Spirits and those bands that had been just started?
I have learned a lot,
right,
recently
since starting the band.
Oh God, yeah, totally. I mean, well, you know what I learned? I learned that you can't stop the kids that want to play music.
Oh hell no!
You know what I mean? And
you shouldn't stop the kids that want to play music. I will say that too.
Exactly. So I learned that, there's people as, actually really varied age groups, right? Because like I'm 53, so I'm like kind of on the old side, but I love I love that you're doing a bong hit, by the way. That makes me feel like I should go pack my bong, but give me a second. I probably got into all of these bands from Sanhedrin.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was really big into Priest, Dio, Iron Maiden, like the classics and stuff. And I really don't think I was even going out to see music a lot at the time that we started the band, because I work in live music production, and so does Nate. So I was doing for a lot of years 4 nights a week of live music, sound mixing, or stage managing, or whatever my job was that particular night. But then on the off nights, I have to say, it really did kind of kill my desire to go out and find new shit.
I know exactly what you're saying there, because for me, I had a bunch of quote normie friends in my early 20s. And what I say, my normie friends are the ones that don't play music. The ones that wanted to always go out to the bar to hang out and have fun and possibly see that new cover band in town type shit, or go do the karaoke thing. And I played so much in my early 20s and shit that on my off nights of not playing, I didn't want to hang out with anybody, because it was going to the bar I associated with work. Even though I was just playing music, I was around it constantly. So yeah, I totally get what you mean there. Being running sound,
it constantly, you need a break
for sure.
So anyway, I got a real education in music through this band, I have to say. I think the first band that I really learned about through this band was the Devil's Blood, because everybody was like, "You sound like Farida's Lamucci," and I was like, "Who's that?" And so then I found the music. Jeremy is really into them, and I unfortunately got into them after they disbanded, but
right. And that's what I hate about music, about the scene today. There are so many fucking one album and done, or one EP and done bands.
Yeah.
And because they all move on to something that's probably better, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times it's in that reverse. So I totally get that. So one thing I want to ask about too, because you mentioned before we started rolling if I was friends with, Adam and Stacy, and of course I am.
Right.
And so going back and listening, there's, with being a woman in a band these days, obviously things get said that are, that are counterproductive to the scene and shit like that. How do you deal with stuff like that? Quote, female fronted. I hate that term because it's it's a pigeonhole, but how do you deal with stuff like that in the scene?
The female fronted thing has been, I think it kind of has been sort of relegated a little bit to symphonic metal, kind of.
Right.
And also my bandmates and I are really initially were we don't want to be female fronted. We want to be a threesome with 3 even presentations on stage.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I definitely feel by the nature of being the lead singer, you're often the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeremy is just as talented as a guitar player, and he really takes such care in crafting his solos, and they're so well executed that it's kind of and Nate's just a fucking snare murderer, so I feel like all three of us kind of bring equal amount to the live show.
Definitely. So it doesn't go as, quote, noticed or anything like that, which is great.
I mean, I'm going to knock wood. I don't feel like it does. When we toured with Savage Master, you really kind of feel like most people who were there to see that tour were there to be really well entertained.
Yes, because I've been to a few of their shows over the years, and their entertainment is, I don't want to say it's second to none, but in their field, it's second to none.
It's pretty high. The bar is high.
Yeah.
And so it was
swords and masks and leather.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome. But, there would be, you could pigeonhole that as a female fronted tour, and I don't think anybody said anything like that.
Well, and I think you're right. There's so many powerful women vocalists in metal today that I do think it, and I'm not even talking about, say, bands like any other bands like major label band type shit. I'm talking just on an independent level, like with you all, with, say, Ladybeast, Solicitor, Savage Master, just to name a few. And those are the most popular few, I would say. But, but even still, even with black metal bands like Ritual Moon, that is an all-female band out of, or they're like Black and Thrash. And it's that's awesome shit to me that it seemed like for so long that there was never a place, and I'm glad that there's a place now.
Yeah, and it's not as much of a novelty. It's just, it is. I can't tell you how long I've been waiting for it just to be the way it is.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I had about a 2-hour drive yesterday, and I listened to the last 2 albums
of us,
of yours,
of Sanhedrin.
Yes.
Okay,
and I was just and it's something that when it goes through the playlist, that's one thing, but listening to albums full on straight front to back, it definitely has a quality, and I want to talk about that for a moment with you as well. And I know I'm kind of subject jumping. It's kind of how the show is.
That's totally cool.
So let's go with the latest release, which was Lights On from 2022.
Lights On.
Yeah.
Lights On.
And I totally dig it. I love the artwork, obviously. It's got the probably what I would say turn of the century animation to it. From Earth to the Moon style, silent film.
Oh, interesting.
Real kind of almost 18th century print in books.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly where we were going. We were like, hey man, that's exactly, you got it, man. You got it. I went and saw this exhibit at the Guggenheim. It was actually the first time in my life that I had been to the Guggenheim, and I grew up in New York City, right? So that's how New York I am. But I went there a few years ago with my friend, and we saw the Rosicrucian art exhibit, right? And the Rosicrucians were these people in England and France in the late 1800s, mid 1800s. and they were really into like new ideas and new presentations of like Christianity and femininity, and they went to some pretty weird places with it, and that was also somewhat what I was thinking about. Or I didn't draw it. Let me just first say that, because I draw like a 5-year-old. The guy,
Same.
Jack Welch, drew it. The guy from Seventh Bell.
Well, what's so interesting about it to me is just like the dichotomy of, you know, lights on, meaning it's the curtain being pulled back and the fire being set. And it almost resembles block printing.
Yeah, we wanted it to look a little woodcutty.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I would say that I would buy that.
He's done all 3 of our record covers, and his style is a little bit that way. He mainly works, I believe, in pen and ink, and he does have
it is that 18th century look, but like even on Funeral for the World,
yeah, exactly,
where it has like the world and the hourglass and the wings like an 1800s tombstone would have, or a 1700s.
Yeah, exactly, and that was the first time we worked with him, and I guess it's always awesome to me to see what visual artists do with music. You know, like right now we're working on a new record, and I can't wait to see what the guy we got a painter, friend of ours this time, but you know, to see what this guy's going to come up with. But
Can you spoil the name of the artist?
What's that?
Can you spoil the name of the artist? Has he done other artwork for people?
You know, I
don't want to do that because I want to be surprised.
Because I will probably. Well, has he done other stuff? I don't know. No, I shouldn't say.
Well, because yeah, then everybody will be hitting him up too, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I honestly don't know, but I will say this: he is the preeminent satanic Belgian painter. So if anybody is like follows,
if you're on the know, you probably know.
I would say that if you know about satanic painting in Belgium, you know who's painting our record.
Nice. Totally rad as shit though. So you all are actually playing Blades of Steel this year.
Exactly.
At the end of August.
At the end of August. That is when we're super psyched. We haven't played Wisconsin yet. I have a real love for Wisconsin. I was in a band for a long time with a really awesome Wisconsinite, and I just think Wisconsin's cool, so I haven't been there in a long time.
Right.
And especially Madison, so I'm psyched.
Definitely. Yeah, and you know, when we actually played number 2.
Nice!
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
And,
wait, let me see that lineup. Can I just see the lineup?
It was Attacker, The Accused, Metal Asylum with James Rivera, Leeway, Hellfire, Screamer, The Crosses, Vanek, Bray Road, Death Wish, Eric Cobra, Overload, Rat Bat Spider, and Damn Your Eyes.
Nice.
And that was at Club Garibaldi in Milwaukee. And yeah, that was fun. We that's an 8-hour drive for us. And we went up for that, and well, I know it's longer for you all, of course. But yeah, so I think you'll have a good time. Randy always brings in awesome bands up there. Yeah. So that's awesome. Shit, yeah.
Really, I feel really excited about that one.
So your 2024, as you said earlier, you're going to be playing Blades of Steel 4. You're going to be you're writing a new album. what are tour plans? What are
Well,
what
we
are
actually
plans?
have a new album written.
Oh.
And we're actually going to be recording said album next month.
Awesome.
So we are like in the works for album number 4.
Definitely.
And we don't know when we're going to put it out because we want to make sure that, we get some good tour opportunities around when that happens. So we're just kind of talking to people right now and figuring out what logistically can be done for a 2024 release versus another thing. Another point in time,
Right? Like if it's 2025 or not, or it's
I don't think it's going to be that long, to be honest with you. I think it's just probably what month.
Oh, okay. Well, and I'm sure the label has a lot to do with that as well, because they have a release schedule that they want to keep. That's one of the things that, and I'm sure that's always in the back of the mind. Or do you all just deliver and they do it?
Well, no. Once we submit it, we have it's in the can. Like, I think there is a point at which you can delay, but I believe that within a couple of months you probably cannot, because of all the press that happens in advance of. So you really have to make that decision early on, or else you're kind of screwing them over, you know.
For sure. So So with that, with having all this advanced press that goes on, and I've kind of noticed a trend in metal these days with the way that the way metal is given to our fans. And well, for example, with like almost the deletion of having albums put in stores, everything goes to like an online retailer now, obviously. But most of the time it's always set up for pre-sale. So versus that huge country megastar or pop megastar printing millions of copies of something and actually having it in a storefront. What do you feel about like the going out day of?
That I have not seen a lot of Lights On copies in record stores when I've gone around looking.
Right.
I know that we have done a little bit of our own sort of selling a certain amount of copies to distributors and people that own stores here and there for the
like
time
on the
that
independent side.
Can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it really, honestly, I think that's where the future of the music industry lies. Right.
Where you're going to be handling more independent with like more, because there's almost no chain. I don't think are there any chain record stores anymore? Like a Sam Goody or an FYE?
No, I used to go to Tower Records and find like the coolest.
Yeah, but that's not a chain. That's like three. That was like 3 or 4 locations in like California.
No, there was one in New York.
Oh, was there? But I mean, it's not like they had them in like Phoenix and Dallas, and it's not like they had them everywhere.
They didn't have them everywhere.
Yeah,
but Sam Goody. I don't know. I mean, I think all the model has shifted because of streaming, right?
Right, and Walmart.
Because
Walmart buys exclusive albums to sell these days, like that country and pop megastar.
Yeah. Like
it's your exclusive Walmart variant that you can only get it there.
It's very strange. Yeah. I mean, so does fucking
How do you feel about the variant game in independent metal these days?
What do you mean variants?
Like variant vinyl colors, like you've got like 500 black vinyl, 100 red, 100 blue.
I don't know. I don't know if it's really that that big of a deal to me personally.
Right, because I'm sure I'm the person who says, as long as I have a copy of it, I'm cool. I would love to have a physical copy, but if I have to have a digital make of my own, okay. But but there's people out there that take it crazy serious, like they'll get every variant color.
I do not have the kind of disposable income to do things like that.
Same.
Absolutely not.
Same.
No. That's not me. Can't do that.
You know, I wish.
Rather buy a new guitar or something else.
Speaking of guitars here and such, I'm a bass player as well. I've got some of the two that were the primary, the number one and number two for years. What is your go-to rig? What is my
go-to rig right now? It's recently changed. I use you mean like the whole rig, top to bottom?
Yeah, what you got?
To pedals.
I usually don't get into gear talk on the show, but you know, you're a bass player. Because you're a bass player that played circles around me on your album. But
gear. Well, on the album we used my SVT and an 810. So I own this old SVT like prototype head. I think it's like 1969 or something.
Wow.
And yeah, it's fucking gnarly. It's just a beast. It is the roundest sound if you want it to be, right? So I have that through an old 810, like an 810 from probably the 80s. It only has one input jack on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I used that for the first 5-7 years of Sanhedrin, right? And then I think we did one tour with it in the U.S., and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, right.
And then we did a tour in because I've had it since my old band in the 90s. Like, I've had this shit for a long time. And I love it, and I will always keep it and get it, maintained.
For sure.
And tubed when necessary and all of that. But we went and played in Germany with this band Stallion, and they were on like this whole other modern gear trip. One of the guys was a programmer for Kemper, and they had Kemper modelers, and the bass player had a Mark Bass 800 Class D 800 watt head with a Alpha Omega pedal by Dark Glass,
right?
Which is that distortion that just is really, you can really kind of like tailor it in a lot of ways. It's just many more filters than just like a rat pedal,
right? Yeah, right.
So after I used that, I was like, fuck this. I'm getting one of those.
For sure.
So now I use 800 Mark Bass, Little Mark, and a Dark Glass pedal through my 810. I kind of want to get they make a head now, and I kind of want to get their head.
Right. Maybe you could do sponsorship.
Maybe. I've tried. You know what I have to do to get sponsorship, Mark? I have to make a public social media page that's like solely geared towards my playing.
Right.
And I probably should do that.
I think you should, because
yeah.
Like listening back and like really dissecting Lights On and the previous, I was just like,
Poisonous.
you're fucking on fire as a bass player. And I think that, like, seriously, like, I think with everything, it just, where you were talking about on stage, you all have your own aspects, and it bleeds through on the records as well. And that's really what I enjoy, is hearing it. Just like, the name of the song escapes me for the life of me, and I apologize for that. But but you do this vocal line, and then you just do this bass slide down. On like,
it's The Getaway.
Yes, and it's just like blah blah blah, and I'm like, gosh, and it's so fucking good, and like, but still, like, yeah, like the playing is, I think everything. It's that triangle of everything that comes together.
And I think that makes it so that to really like put that female fronted sort of filter on us is kind of hard.
Yeah, it's not. You can't do that.
Because we're all so, so much a part of it. But thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Who got you into wanting to play music?
You know, I would have to say that, like, I was very lucky to have a babysitter when I was probably like 9, 10, 11. Yeah, because like after that, I don't think I had babysitters anymore. But my babysitter was into the New York Dolls. She was like Magenta in Rocky Horror. She was just cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so she turned me on to a lot of cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
And I feel like that was kind of at a very young age, I was sort of like, oh my God, this stuff makes me feel good.
Right. Yeah, it may, for me, it was the thing of, it's like, it's what felt normal.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it really, yeah, definitely.
So is bass your first instrument?
Nah. Piano was the first instrument, but really voice, because I was like studied voice. I studied voice for probably 10 years when I was a kid. And I went to a high school that was a performance high school. It was like the Fame School in New York called LaGuardia High School. Yeah, and so I did a lot of singing.
Okay.
I didn't pick up bass until I was probably 20.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next, is what inspired you to pick up a bass?
I started like... It was weird because I was playing, I had a relationship to music, but I was singing like classical and stuff, right? And then finally, when I went to California, I started singing rock and roll. But as a front person, I was kind of like, I had no game. I didn't know what to do. So I was sort of like, maybe I should get an instrument and have that to do, or between singing. So I don't know what would have happened if I had just stayed with being a front person. I think it would probably be a lot of fun, honestly. But I really enjoy bass because it's a way to write, first of all, you know, so having the articulate, being articulate in a language that other musicians can understand, because it's hard, I've noticed, for guitar players, some guitar players, to sort of listen to a vocal line and then come up with a guitar part.
True. And I would say it's equally on the other side with guitar players and drummers, because one tends to mimic the other when they write together. So, like, you would have a lot of guitar players that I know, when they write to just a drummer, they write a more syncopated style, like a more counted guitar part. It's more syncopated to with a drum beat, or vice versa. You have that guitar player that does the thing, and then the drummer's trying to hit every note too.
Yeah. That's no good.
No.
That's too much information.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so who would be in your top 5 bass players then? If you were to pick a couple, if you were to pick a 5, who would they be?
Well, I think I met one of them, which was so exciting. So Dirk Schlechter, I think I'm butchering his last name, but from Ross the Boss Band.
Right.
From a band in Germany called Gamma Ray. He's one of my top 5.
Nice.
He did the Joey DeMeo role in the Ross the Boss whatever.
Oh,
band.
okay.
You know, am I saying that right? Was Joey DeMeo the bass player of Manowar? I think so.
I think so. Here in Kentucky, we actually have a Manowar Boulevard.
No shit.
Yeah, it's in Lexington.
Damn.
And it's not for the band, I don't think. I think it's for the racehorse.
Okay, it's for
It's for the racehorse.
Well,
I still want to. I still want to steal the sign though. Just to have it.
Like, I loved the Ross the Boss Band interpretation of all the Manowar songs because
Joey DeMeo.
I have been familiar with Manowar since I got into metal, right? Because I'm from New York,
right?
And I'm from the 80s. And so is Manowar. And I actually saw them at their peak, but right after they kicked Ross out. And I didn't know anything about them because I was there to see Motorhead, but Motorhead opened for them. And I loved Motorhead. And I could not fathom what was going on with Manowar because they came out all oiled up. And
That's
it's just so hard.
That's such a weird combination. When you think about that, coming out like all oiled up and like, and then you've got like Motorhead coming on after that, which is mostly.
Well, let me tell you, for me, it definitely was not like a great pairing in terms of like, like wine and cheese or whatever.
Right.
But it was a classic era of theirs,
right.
And they they didn't wear pants. And when we toured with Ross,
oh my gosh,
and Ross the Boss Band in May, that made a point of saying, when I was in Manowar, I always wore pants. Thank you very much.
Right.
And I was like, thank you. Because, that was hard. It was hard. I'm sorry, guys. But
hell yeah.
But I do really love Dirk Schlechter's bass playing. And then, I had the opportunity to work with Jack Bruce several times.
Okay.
I actually got to do a sound for Bruce West Lang once.
Wow.
Which was like this fucking bizarre, bizarre reunion. I worked at a blues club in Times Square that had a lot of those old timers play, So at any rate, so Jack Bruce, definitely. Geddy Lee.
Dig, yeah.
And oh god, you put me on the spot. I have to think of bass players now. Oh, I know who I love. Dennis Dunaway. I love him, actually. I kind of like super love him. And I got to meet him too.
Awesome.
Because I did sound for Bouchard Dunaway Smith. So it was John, but no, it was Albert Bouchard. No, it was John Bouchard. Sorry. John Bouchard, Dennis Dunaway, and Neil Smith doing Alice Cooper and Blue Oyster Cult songs. Now that was fucking cool. I was like, oh man. But yeah, Dennis Dunaway, and then Cliff Burton. Yeah,
okay.
For number 5.
Hell yeah. And, you know, actually thinking about some of those, I can actually see that. The Getty I can see, the Dennis Dunaway I can actually see in your style.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because, you know, I was just dissecting everything, and it's just so great. And yes.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to number 4.
Yeah.
Like hardcore. So yeah. We've actually rambled quite greatly for this episode. Excellent. Which I absolutely love, because hey, excellent. We don't get good episodes like this, and episodes like this I tend to, when they're in studio here, they tend to go a lot longer, but this has actually been really cool.
How long have we been talking?
About 45 or so minutes.
Oh, that's shit. But it's so nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we've actually had this awesome...
Do you have any more questions that you want to ask?
Wait, I was going to ask you a couple of the derailed questions before we go.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, shoot. So let's go ahead and get into these. Obviously, this is just a universal life thing here.
Okay.
What is your most favorite decorative piece of artwork that you own?
Right now, I would have to say that it's this, and it's very easy for me to show you. But my friends got me this for Christmas a few years ago, and I just think it's so...
Hell yeah. The burning church?
Yeah, but just the way it's burning and the type of church it is, and I don't know. I just think it's funny, so I like that.
I like that. That's awesome. I would.
Giving me pleasure.
What are the biggest things in life that you've learned so far?
Oh, the biggest things in life. Wow. Well, I have to say, I'm still learning.
Well,
so
yeah.
I think one of the biggest things I've learned is that I'm still learning. And I probably will until I die.
Absolutely.
Know? And that once I think I know everything, I should take a pause and just try to zoom out a little bit and see what other people's opinions might look like. You know what I mean?
Shit, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, and it's almost as just like when you've got to take a break, for example, you know, everybody talks about like that social media break and online stuff. You gotta do that. You've got to take that step back from everything and readjust.
Totally.
Dig that. So, one more question, but before we go there, always, links are listed below, so please give a like, a share, and a follow. Go see them on tour. Go support them in any way you can. Sanhedrin. Erica, do you have any shout-outs you want to give to anybody today?
Well, I want to shout out to Nathan and Jeremy because they rule. And then, what's up, Stacy and Adam, because they live in your great state. And yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah. So awesome. Again, thank you for coming on the Metal Forge this week. And the last question of the day is, what is invisible? What's invisible out there that you wish people could see? That one's pretty heavy.
Yeah, you people that don't see me cocking my head like a little dog going, I don't know. Let me think about that one for a second. So what's invisible that I wish people would see? Ooh, I think I know. Quantum attachment.
Wow, I don't. Quantum attachment?
Yeah.
Like, define. I'm not familiar
Well,
with what
like the fact that, if we were ever together and breathe the same air, we're always connected. That, my blood is always that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
So like touching the same air, touching like the desk and like the contact.
But then knowing that, the DNA, my DNA molecules touched yours, and therefore is somehow we're all attached.
That's wild. That's awesome, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I guarantee, though, there would be some crazy fucking person out there who's like, fuck that. So-and-so sat there.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
I mean,
But
and then think about all the people.
Whatever it is, I guess really just to see how we're all interconnected,
Right.
And so all of this division and I'm over here, you're over there, kind of thing. At the end of the day, we're just little ants on this planet. Try to get along, and
Definitely. That's awesome. Fuck yeah. Erica, thank you so fucking much for this. This has been awesome. Keep up the fucking awesome work. I am glad we've got to do this, and obviously we're going to have to do this again. Yeah,
Well, let's do it again when record 4 is coming out. Okay?
Shit, yeah. On our way out today, what do you want to play?
I think that it might be cool to listen to The Poisoner.
Ooh. All right. So here it is.
That might be a cool one. Yeah. Moody, but then it gets really heavy, so you guys will dig it.
I dig it. Here is The Poisoner. Yeah. Dude, that was awesome.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine, an independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music includes a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory, to rock school, weekend warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana.